Shall we begin?
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of For the City. It has been a very eventful week. Both our teams won. Both wins were a little ugly, both defensive games. So we want to pick up first with the Browns as they played the Broncos. That was the first game that happened on Thursday. So go ahead and Chef Boy, go ahead and recap the game and give us your thoughts.
Yeah, it played out kind of how I expected it. I thought that we would have enough talent to overcome all the injuries and everything. And I knew it was going to be a close game, but it played out almost exactly like I thought it would. We had a team that could run the ball. People were sleeping on Dearness Johnson. I mean, if you're not a true Cleveland Browns fan and watch the games, you probably didn't know who he was. I know the national media, they love those Cinderella stories, but, you know, for us Cleveland fans, we're like, we know who we got. We know we got. That's why Stefanski kept him. But, you know, it was an amazing game plan, man. And I think that's what Stefanski's been missing and not doing with Baker for the last, 4 games before that. We got away from what we do. You know what I'm saying? As long as we don't turn the ball over, we run the ball, play decent defense, and just make the right throws. You know, the biggest difference between Keenum and Baker, Keenum is a veteran. He's played a long time, and he knows when to get rid of the ball, when to get out the pocket. There was a few times in there he, was going to get sacked and was able to squirm out and just throw the ball away. So those are the things Baker needs to learn. Just when he gets back in, just say, hey, man, just take your losses, do what the system is telling you to do. And we can do what we did. There were so many games last year at the end of the year. We won the game by running the ball down their throat in the fourth quarter. And that's all we had to do. We didn't have to put it in Baker's arm to come down the field with a minute and 30 to win the game. So it was a hard-fought defensive game. We ran the ball. We ran our offense. So I wasn't surprised at all, man. It played out literally exactly the way I expected in my mind.
Game was ugly. I mean, as ugly as can be. One of the ugliest games I've seen the Browns play in the last couple of years. It was smash mouth. Case Keenum couldn't throw the ball more than 20 yards down the field, even though he wasn't expected to. And yes, Johnson was an absolute beast in that game, putting up the yards that he was putting up. They eat that game out, man. At the end of the day, the Broncos had plenty of opportunities to try to win that game and take the lead in that game. The defense stepped up. It wasn't a great win. It's a win. They needed it. They needed that win to keep up in the division because Cincinnati's playing lights out right now. Cincinnati's playing lights out right now. So, they don't give Baker enough credit, though, because Baker can throw the ball downfield. So I think Stefanski, and this is what really aggravates me about Stefanski is that why are you not making a game plan around Baker the way you made it around Case Keenum?
Right. No, and that was like the lead up, and that's all the controversy and stuff. And what made me, I wouldn't say made me happy, but as a fan of Baker and a person who wants all this drama and stuff, like that's what people need to realize. When Baker went down, everybody, oh, thank God, now Keenum can come in. Keenum has no arm whatsoever. Those throws that he was making barely got to the receiver every time. I mean, I'm watching the ball like the release point, and I'm just waiting. Like, is the ball gonna get on a quick slant or something? And so, it could be rust. It could be a lot of things. A lot of people try to blame it on rust and things like that. There is a very specific difference you can see between the way Baker releases the ball, how it comes out, and like you said, we know he's got an arm. And he has the arm talent. It's just the mental things, the mental breakdowns, the throwing picks when you don't need to throw picks, trying to squeeze it in, trying to hold the ball too long. Keenum gave him the recipe, right? And hope maybe this humbled him, man. Maybe he'll come in this next time whenever he gets back in. I hope he stays out until he's healthy. But that's another thing probably need to talk about, So
I see controversy.
Maybe he picked up some stuff.
I see controversy already in the quarterback, and I also see controversy in the running back game because what's going to happen is now people are going to they're going to be screaming for Johnson. They're going to be screaming for this, give this kid the ball more. But people don't understand is they had nobody else. They had to give it to him. You know what I mean? So he had a shining moment. But I think this is another Duke Johnson situation where it's scheme. It's, you know what I mean? The blockers are doing what they need to do. But if you put Duke Johnson on the team, I don't think he's going to do what he's doing like he's doing in Cleveland. You understand where I'm coming from? Because Cleveland line is a good line. It's not like it's a bad line.
Yeah.
So
Johnson is the perfect running back for that type of line. I mean, he's he hits the hole,
right?
And he runs like Hunt. He's
very explosive,
quicker than Hunt.
Very explosive. Yeah. He's very explosive. He's got good cut. I watched the entirety of the game. It was crazy, man, because he was making some cuts. He had holes that I didn't think he was going to have in that game, which is great, good for him. But let's pump the brakes now, and because you have some people in the media talking about he might be the next coming and blah blah blah. To me, like I said, this might be a Duke Johnson type situation. You have a two-headed monster in your running backs already in Hunt and Chubb. Now if one of them goes down, you still can have a two-headed monster because now you have Johnson that can come in and produce for you. So overall, ugly game, but I'm glad they're back on the winning side. Let's shift gears now. Let's talk Giants. Giants and Carolina. Now, as you know, I live in South Carolina, so the Carolina Panthers are considered both states teams, even though they play and reside in North Carolina. That game, I wasn't impressed. no matter what anybody tells you, that game was not impressive at all. The only two people that I were impressed in that game was Ojulari. This kid is a diamond in the rough. Everybody keeps not realizing this kid was a top 30 talent, and he slipped when the Giants picked him up. To me, he's going to be one of the biggest steals of the draft. He's a rookie year. He's putting up sack numbers. Compared to him and Chase Young, he's putting up better numbers than Chase Young is right now, sack-wise. It's still early in the season, but he's still putting up those type of numbers for a rookie on a bad team. You understand what I mean? So he's starting to set the precedence for he went buckshot in that game, 2.5 sacks for that game, pressures. I mean, it was crazy. He was all over the field in that game. But their offense is still stagnant. One big play, the Odell-esque one-handed catch by Daniel Jones. In all reality, if he didn't catch that boy, he was going to get laid out. If you watch that play, Daniel Jones was going to get laid out on that play if he did not catch that ball. If it was just off his fingertips, that boy was going to get his head blown off. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. They probably would have got a penalty, but you're right. They would have clinked him. It's a free shot on a QB.
It'd have been a free shot on the QB, and he'd have got laid out. So don't get me wrong, great catch. Like I said, and I keep trying to tell everybody, give Daniel Jones a line that he can work with, that can keep him upright, and he can show you what he can do. Give him receivers that are not going to constantly keep dropping the ball, and he can show you what he can. But I wasn't impressed with the win. It was against the Panthers. They lost 3 in a row. The Giants were at home. You know what I mean? To me, it was, and then you were playing. What's his name?
Darnold.
You were playing Darnold, and he was trash with the Jets. And he just, everybody thought because he came to Carolina, they won the first 3 games. It wasn't impressive to me. I'm glad they won. The score was a little bit more disingenuous than it seemed to be. You know what I mean? Because they hit like 3 or 4 field goals in that game to get it where it was at. So it's not like they were putting up touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. Man, Daniel Jones only threw 1 touchdown. And in all reality, it was lucky it wasn't called back, because it wasn't called at the 1-yard line, because it looked, they didn't overturn it, but to me, it looked like old boy's leg hit the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
they spent a lot of time on the review.
They spent a lot of time on the review. So to me, it wasn't all that impressive. I'm happy that they won. I really am. But it's not nothing for me to get excited about, because half their squad is still injured. You understand what I mean? Half their squad is still injured, and their line is still trash. So, like I said, I'm glad they won. I am, but I'm not excited.
And I'll say, spoken like a true Giants fan, like a true New Yorker. that's the New York. You know what, man? I talk about Cleveland fans and how pessimistic. It don't matter what happens. He's spoken like a true Giants fan, man. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I was telling you last week, I thought the Giants had a chance in this game. And I thought that, just given the circumstances and the matchup and everything, I thought that, Darnold would turn the ball over. He did. The defense came, at least they came to play. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come out there and get mollywopped. And it is a Panthers team that's hurting. They didn't have McCaffrey, didn't have some of their starters and stuff in there. So, yeah, it's not something to, it's obviously it's a win. You're still, in the positive, it's a win in the win category. You're not completely out of the division yet. So you still got time there. But yeah, like I said, I was looking at the box score and everything from the parts that I missed. But it just seems to me, like I said, Bradbury had his turnover, so he got in the game. Peppers did. He was the person that I highlighted. So
and he's out.
Sack.
He's out for the season now. Mm-hmm.
He's got hurt. but he did come through the play. He had a sack and was playing well up until that injury. So I mean, we all get bit by that injury bug, and it seems like it just ain't slowing down. But
they're ravaged, bro. They are absolutely ravaged on that team, man. It's just sit Daniel for the rest of the year, man. So he doesn't get knocked out the box, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll get into the game coming up soon. But I mean, you're going from hey, we got this victory and everything to, oh yeah, we played the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. So after the Chiefs just had a bad L. So, I mean, we're gonna get into it, but yeah, man. I mean, this past game, like I said, they did what I thought I was gonna do. I felt pretty good. I think my picks are getting there. I think I'm getting into midseason form as far as my predictions and stuff now. It's starting to get a little better. So, but yeah, man, I should be happy, man. It's a win. I trust you. Our win was just as ugly, and I told my friend right after the game, I say, man, we're not gonna beat Pittsburgh playing like this. You know what I'm saying? Like that boy Keenan better put some HGH in that arm or something, because he ain't gonna be getting those throws in against the secondary of Pittsburgh. So I feel you.
So let's transition. Let's transition to the Steelers game coming up against the Browns. This is a division game. This is huge game. Steelers are not playing their best. I think Roethlisberger's about finished. His career seems like it's coming to an end. Right, it should have came to an end last year when he was sitting on the bench after that loss. But apparently, Pittsburgh has nobody else to go in there and play. But you guys are going in against Pittsburgh, who are, I believe, is 3-3 right now. They're a 500 ball club. You guys are coming in at 4-3. I don't know the status of Mayfield. Is he in that game, or are they letting him sit out for a couple more weeks?
They're keeping it a mystery. He did practice today. He was out there practicing, which is really surprising to me, man. I don't know what Stefanski's thinking, but
the injury can't get any worse than it is right now for him. So it's already tore completely off.
So I look at this game kind of like Denver. I think it's a winnable game, and I don't think you need Baker. I need Keenum to play better, but I don't think we have to have Baker in there to win the game. I mean, I ain't trying to jump over you, nothing like that, but jumping into the game, I just think, Pittsburgh's defense is tough, man. And I don't want it to come down to a field goal game, even though we amazingly have a kicker now. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. We have a freaking kicker that can hit 50-yard kicks, so I'm not nervous about it coming down to a kick anymore. But I'd rather it not be like that. If you would ask me at the beginning of the season, I would have told you we're going to blow them out by 30. It's at home. We're going to be rolling. I thought we'd be on a 3-game winning streak right now and just coming in and rolling on them. Now it's a little bit closer, man. I mean, you look at the matchups. I mean, I call Ben Roethlisberger Frankenstein, because he just sit out there just all lumbering around, held together with stitches and stuff. I mean, like, Ben is done. And I'm not worried about him. But what I am worried about is just, Tomlin's a savvy coach, man. He'll throw them trick plays in there. He'll go for it on fourth down every time, like San Diego was doing. If our third down defense is playing like it was against San Diego or Arizona, we're going to get ate up. You know what I'm saying? But if they came to play, I wish JOK was in this game. I'm so disappointed that he's hurt. I was so looking forward to seeing him in there just flying around, like, doing what Palomalo used to do to us all the time. So I'm really disappointed about that. But like I said, I think it's going to be another one of those Denver games, run, heavy defense, don't turn the ball over. But Pittsburgh, with Watt and everybody, that's what they try to do, man. They try to get turnovers, and that's how they win games. So
what's your prediction for the game?
Man, I've kicked this around a bunch. I think we're gonna win. I think we're gonna still win. I'm feeling like we're gonna win 24-17. I think it's gonna come down like a touchdown game. I honestly think that with Chubb being back, Conklin being back, we got our offensive line fully healthy again. That's a huge boost. So that'll give Keenum a little bit more time. But I'm afraid of their D-line, man. Watt and old boy in the middle, I can't think of his name, number 97. Those dudes, they wreck shop, man. But if we can run the ball, don't turn it over. I know Ben's gonna give us the ball at least once or twice this game. So I'd say 24-17.
Okay, so who's your dark horse of the game?
Right now, you know what? I want to say it's gonna be a receiver, man. I feel like they tried to incorporate OBJ. I don't even know if he's playing this game. Jarvis came out hot. They were hitting him, and that just gave us energy and everything like that. So, but then he got hurt. So, and Peoples was hurt before the game even started. So I'm thinking it's gonna be Schwartz, man. I think Schwartz is gonna surprise everybody. He's been sleeping. He's been quiet. But I think they're gonna try to incorporate his speed, man. I think OBJ is gonna take a backseat to him this week, and I think they're gonna hit him on some quick screens, some slants, and he could take one 70, 80 yards to the house. So look for a big game from Anthony Schwartz.
So for me, this is gonna be old school AFC North football, Browns, Steelers. It's going to come down, in the trenches. To me, it's going to come down to a running game. It's flat. It can be because nobody's going to be able to throw the ball. Ben can't even throw the ball down the field anymore like he used to. So to me, it's going to come down. You got Chubb coming back. You still got Johnson. So you still have that potential two-headed monster in that game where you can just run the ball down their throat. And if you get it close enough to the end zone, Keenum can throw a 20-yard touchdown pass or a 10-yard touchdown pass. He shouldn't have a problem with that. But my dark horse in this game, believe it or not, is not even on the Browns. It's going to be Ben. If Ben gets hot, you guys are in trouble because Ben can do it in spurts. Ben can get you 21, 30 points like this in a blink of an eye if he has good protection and he's feeling it. If Ben gets hot, this game's over for you guys. I'm just going to tell you that right now because you're not going to be able to play catch up. And this might be like an FU game, a revenge game. That loss that he had in the playoffs. So he's going to come in motivated. He's coming in motivated to prove that he still has it. And what better way to give the middle finger than to the Cleveland Browns, a team that put him out of the playoffs last year. That's going to be the biggest thing for him. So that's my dark horse for the game. It's not even for the Browns. Don't let them get hot. Don't let them get hot. But my prediction for the game is I have it 24-21. To believe it or not, I'm going to go against the Browns on this one. I just have to because, like I said, it's the Browns always seem to come up short, and it against the Steelers. Their history, they always seem to come up short. And this is a big game. This is a division game. The Browns lose this game, they're going to be a 500 ball club. They win it, they're 5-3. So I see it 24-21. I think the Steelers pull it out, last second field goal to win the game.
Yeah, and I mean I can't say that I'm disagreeing with you. Like I said, I flip-flop back and forth because I can see exactly where you come. He does. He did it last year in the playoffs, man. We put up a almost a 30-point lead on them dudes, and they brought it to almost a one-score game. You know, so it's not really him doing it. It's he makes those quick throws when he's on point, making those little short quick throws. I mean, and then he'll just catch you with a pop to like Claypool for 80 yards or something like that. But that's when it's going to come down to Miles and Clowney, man. That I didn't really talk too much about the defensive side of the ball, but yeah, man, if Clowney and Miles just get a little bit of pressure on Ben. I mean, Ben he's ready to bounce out the pocket like as soon as the pressure comes. He don't stand up back there no more like he used to and just take it. He knows his body can't take too much more of that. So if Clowney and Garrett can get that push, they can find some more, ways to get creative and blitz a little bit more. I know a lot of people want us to get out of that zone defense like we've been playing and play a little bit more man. I agree. I don't know if this is the team to do it with because they got, Johnson get the ball. Their receiver, Johnson, gets the ball. I mean, that dude can break one too. So I'm just, And
you got to remember the Steelers.
Yeah, you're right. It's a lot of storylines, man.
You got to remember the Steelers are coming off a bye week. So they're going to be fresh.
That's true.
They're gonna be fresh. I mean, the Browns still had. Browns still had a 10-day week, so they still had some time to recover from that Thursday night game. But the Steelers are coming off. They're fresh, man. They had a bye week. They're just relaxing, getting their bodies right. So I'm telling you, don't be surprised if they pull this off. So let's switch gears. The Giants, man, good victory. They won. Now they're going against Kansas City. Now, don't get me wrong. Kansas City's playing like crap, but they're Kansas City, and they beat up on bad teams. The Giants are a bad team. Now, for me, the keys to this game for me is if Mahomes is playing because he had a concussion. I believe he's in concussion protocol. I don't know if he's out of concussion.
I think he's going to play. I'm pretty sure he's going to play. They said he's cleared. He went back in, so yeah.
He's
fine.
So Bradbury should have if Andy Mahomes is anywhere near off. Bradbury should have at least 2 picks in this game because he's thrown more picks in this season than he has any other season in the first.
I would say ever
in the first 6 games. Yeah. His whole trajectory is off for some reason. So he's not playing well. But like I said, good teams typically tend to beat up on bad teams. Now, my keys to this game is if you can get pressure on Mahomes. Ojulari, if Ojulari can get to him, Giants have a chance to win this game. I think my keys to victory in this game is going to be Ojulari putting pressure on him and Leonard Williams. Between those two, if they can prevent Holmes from being comfortable in the pocket and throwing down, I think they have a chance to win this game. Do I see it happening? I'm just being realistic. I don't. I see them losing this game. Maybe it'll be a close game, though. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it'll be a blowout because their defense is starting to play good football. Their defense is actually starting to come together, even though we lost Peppers. But if Ojulari and Williams can do their thing and put pressure on Mahomes and cause some turnovers, Giants have a chance. They have a chance, but I think the game is going to be 27-21. I think that's where the game is going to unfold. Like I said, my dark horse in the game is going to be Ojulari because this kid is playing lights out the last couple games, man. They just, put that pressure on them, and the Giants have a chance. Their offense is not great, man. So if the Giants can establish the run game and get those close touchdowns in the red zone and not settle for field goals, because if you go field goal with Kansas City, you're going to lose. Because even on a bad Kansas City team, they still can put up 40 points on you in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, to quote a person I know, it's fraudulent, man. The season is over. No, I'm sorry, man. I have to sound like you this week, man. I don't see this game being at all close. I unfortunately, I mean, you look at the storyline. You got Kansas City coming off a bad loss, angry, down, losing in the division, and then you got a Giants team that's probably up a little bit after a victory. I just think this is not a trap game, really. I mean, I'm sure everybody circled this one at the beginning of the season as an L, but really coming into it, I just feel like an upset, angry Kansas City team has a Monday night football game. Nation's watching. I think New York's gonna come into town and get mollywopped. I think they're gonna get. I think. I mean, there's not much I can say. I mean, like you said, don't get me wrong. If Leonard Williams and I can't even pronounce his name. Ojulari. Yeah, if Ojulari and Leonard Williams get pressure and they stop the run, do like they were doing last week. Could it be a close game? Do I think? I don't think so. I think Patrick Mahomes is gonna be on it, man. I feel like Hill's gonna probably have, because Pepper's hurt is huge, man. I mean, that you can't understate that, man. I mean, losing him. I just feel like their offense is just too powerful, man. I just don't see anything coming for the Giants. But I mean, they're gonna try to put up a fight, like you said. They'll come out swinging the first, maybe come down the series, opening drive, score a touchdown or something like that. Because the Kansas City's defense is trash. They can get scored on. You know what I'm saying? If they got to run trick plays like they did against last week against the Panthers, then run some trick plays, do what you got to do to get points on the board. But I just think overall, Kansas City's power is just, their offense is too much for New York this week. My keys to victory, if they want to win the game, like you said, they're gonna have to win it in trenches. They're gonna have to get pressure on Mahomes, get some turnovers. He's throwing them now, like you said.
Yeah,
he's just off, man. It could be that Super Bowl hangover when those teams that lose the Super Bowl, even teams as good as Kansas City, they have that Super Bowl hangover after that L. And
happened to the Falcons after they lost.
Right. And it's scary, but it's true. It seems like that only team I've ever seen not get that is the Patriots, and that's just Tom Brady and Belichick. But man, I just feel like Kansas City's going to come in. I'd say 41 to 12. 41.
Yeah, I don't think Kansas City going to put up 41 points.
No, you know what? No, I think they're going to score 41, but I think New York can score on them. I'd say 41-20. We'll say that 41.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be 41 points. I think the defense ain't going to give up 41 points. I think after those two, the giving up the 75 points 2 weeks in a row was embarrassing for the Giants defense. I think they're going to take a little bit of pride and they ain't going to let Kansas City run over. They're still going to lose the game. I just don't think Kansas City's going to run all over them. Like people will typically talk about. So before we jump off, let's have a discussion. Trade lines coming up. So on my end, on the Giants end, there's some trade rumors that Ingram might be out the door. There's some suitors that might want him. I think a change of pace for him might be good because he hasn't done absolutely anything in New York since he's been there. Mr. Dropsies, he hasn't really produced anything for the Giants. Maybe a change of scenery is going to do him some good. Julius Peppers was on the trade block till he got hurt. He's a free agent after this year, so I don't know if the Giants will re-sign him at a discount. Is there anything on the Browns end that you're hearing trade-wise?
Too much, man. That's just the thing here. So everybody wants to trade OBJ. That's a big one I've heard. 3 or 4 different deals. I've heard him going to the Packers. I heard him going to the Niners. I heard him going to the Patriots. So there's a few different teams that I've heard, OBJ's name being linked to. Obviously, they still want to. They're talking about the quarterback position. If we should trade for a quarterback now, the Deshaun Watson conversation. I think every team who's could win, who has a good team that are on the fence right there that need a good quarterback. Everybody's talking about Deshaun Watson. I personally think that would be terrible. I mean, you don't need any more distractions. This dude, whether or not he's a huge talent, I mean, you talk about baggage. I mean, that stuff's going to live on for years. So I just don't think the Browns need that right now, messing up their chemistry. And I don't think they're going to do it. Will they make like a minor move? Probably. I mean, we got a plethora of running backs. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to break up. I'd hate to break up our running backs. But if you got a team that really needs a running back, and, we obviously need secondary help all the time because our corners apparently are the most fragile human beings on this planet. We got Mr. Glass over here, Denzel Ward on one side. You got Greedy. My left shoulder's gonna fall off tomorrow. We need some secondary. We need some help back up in the secondary. So if we made a trade like that, I wouldn't be mad about it. But I don't think we're gonna make too many moves.
I don't think Odell's gonna be. You're not gonna get a one. No matter what the Browns do, you're not going to, unless somebody's desperate and the Browns can finesse them. And I mean, it depends on who you are. Maybe Green Bay, you can get a one because there's going to be a low one anyway, because Green Bay is going to end up being like 14-5 or 13-3 by the time they get done. So you might be able to finesse a one for them. But that's I think right now Odell's maybe worth a second round pick, a second and a fifth at the most. He ain't worth. I don't think he's worth first unless you can finesse it. Like with Ingram, Like with Ingram, I don't expect the Giants. I think he's worth maybe a 5th round pick and a conditional like a 7th round pick or something like that. He's not really worth anything at this point because of the injuries and the constant injuries. Same thing with Ingram. He's not really worth anything because he can't stay on the field and he can't catch the ball. But somebody's going to overpay for him. They will, because the team's going to be desperate, that feel like they're in the hunt to be able to get something done. So we'll see how it goes, man. That Monday night game is going to be, under the bright lights, and maybe the Giants show up, maybe they don't. I look forward to the game. Actually, the game of the week I look forward to is going to be the Browns and the Steelers, because I want to see how that works itself out. It's an AFC North game. I mean, those games are always fun to watch. Look at who thought Cincinnati was going to blow the doors off Baltimore. Nobody.
Yeah. I mean, it's so crazy. We came into this season and I'm like, all right, Cincinnati, I'm not worried about them. Pittsburgh, they're done. I'm not worried about them. Baltimore, maybe. Then they had their injuries. We're like, oh, we're going to run away with the division. Wrong. Now we got, 2 of the toughest teams in the AFC period right now. You got a 5-2 team and I think a 4-3 team or a 4-2 team. Man. I mean, it's not ideal to be in probably the strongest division in the AFC right now, but I feel like any team can win any given Sunday with us in our division. I think that Cincinnati game says more about Baltimore than it does about Baltimore's had so many close games. They should have lost to Detroit. They should have lost to Kansas City, but they found a way to win. I think this time, they played a better team, and I think it's going to show.
You can't do the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, because then the Giants should be like 4-1, 4-2, because they gave games away. So you can't use that. It is what it is. People play the way they play. I think that's going to be, for me, that's the game of the week. I think a lot of people are going to tune into that game specifically to see if Ben has something left in the tank. And all the pundits are going to go crazy for this game. And Stephen A is going to run his mouth about this game coming up on Sunday.
Stephen A is an undercover Pittsburgh fan.
But he claims to be a Giants fan, but he loves the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He's an undercover Pittsburgh fan. 100%.
So, but any parting shots before we jump off?
No, man. Like I said, I'm glad both our teams got that W. It seems like we're mirroring each other. You know what I'm saying? It seems like our teams are on the same trajectory right now. And who knows? You know what I'm saying? I joke about that game, but nah, man. I mean, who knows? If they win this game, that's it. That's the train rolling right there. That's going to be a big victory if the Giants pull it out. But I'm looking forward to it too, man.
So for me, Giants Nation, take a chill pill. Relax. You're going against Kansas City. Keep your expectations at a minimum. You know what I mean? Don't bet any lines in Vegas, because if you think the Giants are going to put up 40 against Kansas City, you are absolutely out of your mind. Their offense is stagnant. But just stay positive. Season's dragging along, but hopefully they can keep building momentum like they did last year, and hopefully maybe finish the season decent, maybe at 500 or just below 500. So keep the expectations a little low, because some people get excited and they go overboard thinking that that the Giants are going to turn around and win 8 in a row. It's not reality. Let's just pump the brakes a little bit. So I am Francisco.
Chef Boy Ortiz.
And we will see you folks next week. Have a great day.
Peace.